Hello students, today I am going to teach you Growth of Nationalism, the second chapter of History class 10. Here we will know about the factors promoting the nationalism. Before explaining the nationalism's factor, I am explaining what is nationalism. Nationalism is a feeling of oneness and common consciousness that emerges when people living in a common territory share the same historical, political and cultural background, have some same language, cultural values and consider themselves as one nation. Nationalism denotes patriotism or devotion to the nation. One who is patriotic loves his or her country and feels very loyal towards it. One of the most distinguishing features of the second half of the 19th century was the birth of national awakening in India. It originated from the concept of nationalism. Now we will know what were the factors which promote the growth of nationalism. The first of the factor is economic exploitation. There were many factors that aroused opposition to the British rule. Economic exploitation was the most important among them. Here the many were there, the peasants, artisans and craftsmen, working class, educated Indians, which they were exploited by the Britishers. First we will know about the peasants. The peasants, they were the main victims of the British colonial policies. The government took away a large part of their produce in the form of land revenue and other taxes. Next is artisans and craftsmen. The British economic policies were against the interest of the Indian trade and industry. India became a source of raw materials for industries of Britain and a market for its finished products. The working class. The growth of modern industries led to the birth of a new social class in India, the working class. They were exploited by the factory owners who were generally Englishmen. The educated Indians. The only employment available to the educated Indians was government service, in which competition was high and there were no chances of promotion. They wanted to be free from the exploitation of the British rule. Next factor is repressive colonial policies. The nature of the British colonial rule over India helped the growth of national sentiments among the Indians. The British had conquered India to promote their own interest and therefore followed such repressive policies. These policies became the major barrier to the India's economic, social, cultural, intellectual and political development. Some of these repressive policies, especially those followed by Lord Lytton. First one was Grand Delhi Darbar in 1877. Lord Lytton organized a Grand Delhi Darbar in 1877 to proclaim Queen Victoria as the Empress of India. Lakhs of rupees were spent on the event, but nothing was done for Indians who were in the grip of a famine. Next, Lord Lytton introduced Vernacular Press Act 1878 and Indian Arms Act. Indian Arms Act. It was in 1879. The Vernacular Press Act forbade vernacular papers to publish any material that might excite feelings of dissatisfaction against the British government. This act was not applicable to the English newspapers, and the Indian Arms Act of 1879 made it a criminal offence for Indians to carry arms without license. This act also was not applicable to the British. Next was the maximum age limit for the Indian Civil Service examination was reduced from 21 to 19 years, thus making it difficult for the Indians to compete for it. The import duties on British textiles were removed. It proved harmful for the Indian industries. Next was the Ilbert Bill. Sir C.P. Ilbert introduced a bill which was known as the Ilbert Bill in 1883. The bill sought to abolish judicial disqualification based on race distinctions. This was resented by the British and they started a defence association to defend their special privileges. This bill made it clear to the Indians that justice and fair play could not be expected where the interests of the European community were involved. Next was the social religious reform movement. The impact of the Western education, which led to a rational, scientific approach to the life, made the educated Indians realize the need to reform their religion and society. In the social sphere, these movements worked for the abolition of caste system, child marriage, dowry system, parda system, sati, etc. In the religious sphere, these reform movements combated religious superstitions, attacked idolatry, priesthood, etc. These movements fought for individual liberty and social equality. Prominent reform movements were Brahma Samaj founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Arya Samaj founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Ramakrishna Mission founded by Swami Vivekanand and Satya Shodhak Samaj founded by Jyotiba Phule. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one of the greatest social and religious reformer of the 19th century. He founded Brahma Samaj, which was renamed Brahma Samaj. The Brahma Samaj believed in the worship of one God. It condemned idol worship and laid emphasis on prayer, meditation, charity, etc. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was against the rigidity of the caste system. He started a campaign for the abolition of sati and parda system, condemned polygamy. He discouraged child marriages and advocated the right of widows to remarry. It was because of the efforts made by Ram Mohan Roy, William Bentinck, the Governor General of India, passed a law in 1821 making the practice of sati illegal and punishable by law. He also protested against the restrictions on the freedom of press. Jyotiba Phule was an urban, educated member of so-called low caste. His education and personal experiences had made him critical of Hindu religion and customs. He established a school for the untouchables and started a private orphanage for the widows. He wanted to liberate the depressed class and make them aware of their rights by educating them. He founded Satya Shodhak Samaj in 1873. He worked for the education of women. Swami Dayanand and Swami Vivekananda also proclaimed the superiority of the Indian culture and civilization. These reformers condemned untouchability and caste system, and the ideas of brotherhood and equality attracted the so-called lower classes. These reformers taught people not to ignore the importance of women who could participate in the national movement. They protested against the British domination of India. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was the first to use the word Swaraj and to raise the slogan India for Indians. These reform movements drew their inspiration from India's culture, heritage and promoted a feeling of nationalism. Next is rediscovery of India's past. Reformers as well as thinkers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy tried to arouse the self-confidence, self-respect of the people. Some of them pointed out the richness of the Indian culture, heritage and political achievements of rulers like Ashoka, Chandragupta, Vikramaditya and Akbar. The nationalist leaders and reformers were helped by the work of the European scholars like Sir Charles Wilkins, Sir William Jones, Max Muller, etc. European scholars studied Sanskrit, translated, published famous works of the Sanskrit in foreign languages, and focused the attention of the Indians towards the rich heritage of their Sanskrit literature. Sir Charles Wilkins was the first European to translate the Bhagavad Gita into English in 1785. Max Muller completed the English translation of the Rig Veda in 1875. Sir John Marshall made efforts for the preservation of the ancient buildings and monuments all over India. So the rediscovery of India's national heritage in literature, philosophy, science, arts, politics by both European and Indian scholars created a new picture of India's past glory. Next is the influence of the Western education. The introduction of Western education by the British in India provided opportunity, and they got the Western ideas of democracy and nationalism. It gave a new direction to the Indian political thinking and to national awakening. Educated Indians had an access to the ideals of liberty, nationality, equality, rule of law and self-government. Next is role of press. Large number of newspapers were started. Some of the prominent newspapers were Amrit Bazar Patrika, The Bengali, The Times of India, The Hindus, etc. Many other newspapers and magazines in the vernacular languages were also brought out. These newspapers played a significant role in developing a strong national sentiment among the Indians. Next is the development of rapid means of transport and communication. The need for the economic exploitation, administrative convenience and military defense made the British to develop the modern means of transport and communication. In India, a network of roads was constructed. The first railway line connected Mumbai with Thane was laid down in 1853. The development of modern postal system and the introduction of telegraph helped to unify the country. Telegraph lines were laid connected Kolkata with Peshawar, Mumbai and Chennai and other parts of the country. This brought about a revolution in the speedy transmission of messages and communication. It enabled the Indians to come in contact with one another and discuss the problems facing the country. So these were the factors of the growth of nationalism. In our next class or in our next video, we will know about the foundation of Indian National Congress.